It is time for another episode of The Enthusiast, and we hopefully truly do believe that you will like this.
Yes! Oh my god!
What is up, everybody? I am one of your hosts, Will Zabo. Alongside me, the legend, who's drinking some Coke Zero, Jesse Nazario.
How you doing? This podcast is brought to you by Coke Zero. Not really, but we drink enough of it on it. You know?
Hopefully they'll start sponsoring us. I mean, last time you had the Diet Pepsi, so I'm glad you switched it up to the manly drink.
Yes. This is Coke Zero. Zero sugar, 0 calories. Same great Coke taste.
Ooh.
That's it.
Oh.
It really does taste just like Coca-Cola. It's fantastic.
You would almost think that we actually were sponsored by Coke
I really,
with how much you just said.
I really do. Like, it said new fruit taste. I'm like, this is really good. Like, this is all I've been drinking lately.
So, how was your week?
It was good. It was good. I just got a PlayStation Pro.
Yeah.
Really excited
Setting
about
it up
that.
upstairs right now.
Yes. It's pretty much hooked up. I'm just re-downloading everything on it.
Now, you were on the fence for it. You got to play some games, a game already.
Game on it.
Now, you said you already saw the difference.
Well, I saw the difference in just the home screen. You
Yeah.
can tell the colors and visuals, but I played Marvel Capcom on it, which isn't the greatest looking game,
No.
and it still looks much better than the PlayStation 4 version. And I don't even have a side-by-side to compare it to, and just visually I could tell a difference already starting. So I'm actually looking really forward to playing games like Resident Evil 7 or Horizon Zero Dawn that take advantage of it. So it's exciting. It's exciting. But overall, yeah, it looks really good. Plus, I feel like it was time to upgrade already.
Okay.
I just keep looking at that box.
So you're happy with your purchase?
Yes, I am.
Because I know you had some people telling you not to do it. I just wanted to make sure that it's not something you regretted.
No. Like I said, and the deal I got was pretty good. You know what I mean?
You got it for $45.
Yeah, I'm never gonna get cheaper than that anyway. So
Except free.
free would have been nice. $3.99. Pokemon came out yesterday.
That was the
Gold,
silver and gold, right?
Silver. Still amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Still great. I
That's
love
awesome.
Pokemon.
I have a throwback that recently came out, but I'll save talking about that for the news.
No, it's not like I got the notes at all.
I know.
Not like I could read that.
But the fans don't know.
It's true. But Pokemon Gold is still really great. There's some stuff I forgot they did in it, which at first I was really frustrated with. Pokemon Gold, for whatever reason, when you capture a Pokemon, you don't get any experience points.
Really?
Yeah, it's only when you battle and defeat a Pokemon is the only time you get experience points.
Wow.
And I forgot this was the one and only game they did it in, and it makes me really frustrated because I'll have to battle Pokemon pretty hard to get them to capture point, and then I get nothing after I capture them. But the Pokemon. So I forgot they did that, and then they also do the maybe the economy was bad or something when the game came out because your mom makes you save money automatically in the game from the door. You know what I mean? I completely forgot about that, and I was like, "What is this? Why is the percentage leaving me every time I win money?" And I was like, "Oh yeah,
Go see your mom.
gotta go to your mom."
It was funny, though, because when I was a kid and I first played that, I completely forgot about it until after I already beat the game. So then when I went and I looked at how much money my mom had, it was a ridiculous amount. And I was like, guess who's going to buy a crap ton of Ultra Balls? 99, this guy.
But I also forgot how smooth the story was for Gold, and you know what I mean. They very well could have took the Red and Blue storyline and just redid it again. But I really like the direction they went with it. Just the start of the game is pretty awesome, where you know what I mean. The game starts off in a different direction. You weren't really asking to be a Pokemon trainer. They just gave you a Pokemon so you could do an errand, and then they get robbed, and all this stuff happens. So I'm really excited to own Gold again.
Oh, good.
I did pre-download it, and then I couldn't get it to start in the morning, so I was getting pissed. I was mad, but when I got home from work, it kicked right on.
Nice.
Besides that, nothing.
Yeah, I've been playing some Marvel's Capcom Infinite. We'll talk about that, and you have too.
I have.
Played Metroid.
Oh, yeah.
I picked that up. We'll
Love
also
that
be
game.
talking about that in a minute or so. I watched a lot of the Tokyo Game Show stuff. That the trailers and announcements that have come out get me super excited for some games. Nothing really too new. Anything that is new, obviously, we're going to say for the news. But that's about it. Yeah, no, that's it. Oh, I saw Alien Covenant last night with my girlfriend.
Oh, did you finally see it?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Not a horrible movie,
Mm.
but it was disappointing. The aliens felt very weak in comparison to previous films.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It really felt like anytime an alien was on the screen, they killed it relatively quickly, and then another one would just pop up in its place. I'm a jerk.
Hey, I'm not judging you.
But
I mean, I am judging you a little bit. Hey, well, I'm going to give it a try. Going forward, I don't know how many more movies I'm actually going to purchase now that I've really done. I sound so privileged. I don't want to go past anything beneath 4K. You know what I mean? I still don't have a 4K player. So I'm probably going to start doing, because at least the PlayStation Pro, you can run things in 4K. You can download 4K, so I might start doing that for some movies.
instead of buying physically.
Yeah, because I was going to get Wonder Woman, and then I was like, you know what? I just got all this 4K stuff, and I'm going to step down and buy this on Blu-ray. I was like, I'll wait. I'll download this 4K version.
Yeah.
So, because Wonder Woman was great.
It sucks because I'm at this crossroads where it's like, and I'm sure you are too, you own a lot of physical movies. It's almost like you're proud of that collection when you look at it, but then you're like, man, I really just want to be able to enjoy some 4K without having to go buy a 4K Blu-ray player.
And then you got to rebuy your movies on 4K,
Well,
so
yeah.
that's why I'm like debating whether I'm like done buying physical movies, you know what I mean? Like,
Because I think it is cheaper to just buy it 4K digitally by itself than it
Yeah.
is to go out and buy it on disc. Me and my girlfriend, every movie now we buy is 4K. Alien Covenant, we just bought that the other day. That we got in 4K. So that's what we've been doing now. But yeah, there's a whole bunch that we just have on Blu-ray, and it's like I'm not converting.
well, you see my Blu-ray collection.
Yeah.
Dunculus.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to convert that either.
Yeah, so-
Unless they had a free trade-in program where it's like anything you have on Blu-ray, you could trade it in.
You know what would be nice, even if like every 4 Blu-rays was one 4K? I would do something like that. I'd be like, all right, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But there's certain movies, like if I find places, we've been looking online to dump some of these movies. There's certain movies I won't get rid of because I doubt they'll ever put in 4K. Like I have the Alfred Hitchcock collection. I don't see that going to 4K anytime soon. The Universal Monster movie pack that my wife like hunted down so hardcore for me. I don't see that going to 4K anytime soon. So
Yeah.
like certain movies, obviously I'll keep, but other ones, take a hike. Neighbors, get on out of here. All right.
We have 2 reviews, well, kind of reviews. We don't really like to put scores on things, I don't think, but we like to say whether someone should go out and buy it or not. Let's get started with those. Which one do you want to do first?
Let's talk about Marvel vs. Capcom.
I feel like that's the one that's a little more rocky.
That's in my chest right now.
Okay. Let's start with visuals.
Okay, do you want to talk visuals? Because I thought we were talking about on the positive. That game is horrendous looking. Wow. All right. I didn't realize how ugly that game was until people were doing side-by-sides with Marvel vs. Capcom 3 characters. And I looked at Dante from there to Dante in this. Oh, that's the best
He does
thing.
look like a crack addict.
But then some characters look amazing in my opinion.
I actually agree.
Mega Man, Zero, they both look like they're meant for this art style.
Ultron also.
Ultron looks amazing. Even Sigma, when you get to see him in the cutscene,
Yeah.
looked really good. So I feel like those big, outlandish, cartoonish characters with oversized heads and everything, this art style works for them. The humanoid characters, though, well, Captain America has no neck. He's literally
Well, neither
head
does Spider-Man.
short. No. And Spider-Man skipped leg day every day at the gym, man.
I made that same joke with my girlfriend every time I was playing. I agree. But you know what else is really weird to me? The backgrounds while you're fighting are beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, everything in the background of the arenas while you're fighting looks really good. And some of the characters, like even some of the humanoid characters, like I think Captain Marvel actually looks pretty good.
I can agree. Captain Marvel looks good.
I think Nova looks pretty good.
I was going to say, what's her name? The Bat from Darkstalkers?
Oh, Morgan.
Morgan. I think she looks good. You
I
know
agree.
what I mean?
There are a few that I do think.
And like I said, it depends on the art style. Like I said, the ones that stand out that look horrendous are Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like a cartoon character. His hands are so huge. Like, his finisher shouldn't be reading from the Book of Spells. It should be just backhanding you. Because looking at them hands would knock you in a coma. That is ridiculous.
Hulk, I think, looks pretty good.
Hulk, I think, actually looks really good. I actually prefer this Hulk than Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Hulk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There, like I said, there is certain characters in the game where I'm like, wow, this does look like a PlayStation 4 game. And then there's other characters where I'm like, no. You know what I mean? Like, I seriously look at the cover and, but
Chris Redfield looks horrible.
And you know the worst? I just watched, and I'll talk about this later, but I just watched Resident Evil Vendetta, the movie. Seeing that Chris Redfield, and then have at the same time play Marvel vs. Capcom, awful. What proper CG looks like, and that. It's just terrible. But the colors are great. I'll give them that. Colors are gorgeous.
The color palette is really nice.
Even the reds are really, really nice on it. And a lot of time, and I will admit this, Marvel Capcom 1, 2, and 3, even 3, some of the brighter colors blended really badly.
Yeah.
And you couldn't, you know what I mean? It almost like faded real bad, or it spread, like Spider-Man especially. When you were fighting a Spider-Man and you went too fast, he looked like a bunch of blues and reds. You know what I mean? And I will say this is the first Marvel Capcom where I can constantly see what my character's doing and still move at a fast speed. And I know that goes to everything with a frame rate, but I will say this is probably the best visually on actual frame rate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can agree with that. What do you think about the sound quality? Like, you know, the music.
The music's decent. The sound quality's decent. The voices, no.
Can we talk about how Chun-Li has an American voice?
Yes.
And she's Chinese?
Can we talk about, like, how everyone sounds like the buddy they know that does an impression of an actor? Like, the guy who does Iron Man sounds almost like Robert Downey Jr.,
He does.
but it sounds like a guy doing a Robert Downey Jr. impression.
It's enough to almost make you second guess, but not enough for you to be like, that is Robert Downey Jr.
And then Captain America's like generic American voice, like, we have to do this. Like, oh, come on. Oh.
Yeah.
And it's Rocket is terrible. Every time Rocket opens his mouth, I walk away.
In my opinion, Rocket was the worst.
First, okay, granted, no one ever knew what Rocket's voice sounded like until Bradley Cooper took that part.
Yeah. But he nailed it.
He nails it. He's amazing. You could have got anybody else. Okay, anybody else. I would even took, you know, the guy in every Adam Sandler movie you can't understand. How you make it? I would have took his voice over what we got in that game. Thanos is pretty good. I like
Thanos
Thanos'
wasn't too
voice.
bad. Ultron, I thought was really
Ultron's-
good, which isn't hard to do like the mechanical ones.
Yeah.
Same with Zero.
Zero's
X.
good. X is good. I do not like Ghost Riders.
I didn't like Ghost Rider. I actually don't even like Ghost Rider as a character, gameplay wise.
Not at all. I don't like Dante's either. I feel like Dante. You know what? I don't like about Dante? You gave me Devil May Cry 3 Dante with the personality of DMC Dante.
Yep.
And I hate that. That's not Dante. You know what I mean? He's so ugh in that game.
I didn't mind DMC, but what I can say is, if you were going to give me that personality, I wanted that look too.
Well, I agree.
Just-
DMC is let me rephrase. DMC is one of the better games I've ever played. But don't call it a Devil May Cry game, because that was not Dante, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Nor the story. I like the original Devil May Cry mythology. Like I said, like you said, this is Devil May Cry 3 Dante, because even Jeddah says, oh, you're half human, half demon. DMC Dante's half angel, half demon. You know what I mean?
And he also, all of his toolkit is all from 3.
Yeah.
The gauntlets and boots that you get are from 3.
The little strap on his chest.
The
you know what I
ice,
mean?
yeah, everything is.
The holds his nipples into place.
place.
Another thing I hate, if we're talking visual, I don't know whose idea at Capcom this was to combine all Capcom worlds and Marvel worlds into one.
Yes.
Like, you know, that is the
And
dumbest.
the names.
That's what annoys me. It drives me insane.
Umbrella.
Umbrella. What was the not Asgard? X-Guard. Oh god.
What was the one for Black Panther? I can't. It was the combination of Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I forgot.
I can't remember what they called it though, but all of them were just cringeworthy.
And it's not visually they're cool looking to like combine, but name wise, stop it.
Well, I also thought it was weird that everyone kind of seemed okay with this combination of worlds. No one once was like it wasn't like Black Panther was like, hey, all you Monster Hunter people need to get out of my kingdom.
Yeah, it's like they're part of us now. That's another weird thing. The game's starting off 88 days after the incident. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know I'm to the point in the story. You finished it. I'm in the
I
point of
did.
story mode right now where they're starting to do flashbacks. But I know when the game started off, I was like, did I mess up? What is going on? I have no idea what's going on right now.
All right, you know what? Let's just get to it. Probably the worst part of this game.
Story?
Let's talk about the story.
Okay, I'm going to start off by saying me and you both bought the collector's edition. Now, how much was that?
90.
$90. There's one more above that,
Yes.
which was how much?
That one was 100 and something. I forget exactly.
I
It
think
came
it
with the 4 statues.
4 statues and the gems.
Yeah, and the Infinity Stones.
My issue with this game is I spent $90 on what potentially is a decent fighting game. And that's it. Nothing spectacular about this. When it comes to the fighting mechanics, oh, great. When that story is cringe, where it is awful, man. That story is...
It is.
The story, the dialogue, the look, the cutscenes, the animation, the fact that after every 20-second cutscene, I have to load? And then...
Oh my god, that was driving me crazy.
drives me
and it's
insane.
worse in the very beginning because you're doing fight after fight to introduce you to like the new
Yep.
characters, and you're just like, can I at least get a cutscene that's like at least over 2 minutes?
I think that's the issue. Injustice did it so intelligent. They hid the load times in the cutscenes.
Yeah.
So you never felt like you were waiting, and it was such a genius idea. And the problem is they didn't do that. And I honestly, we had this discussion before. I feel like the story mode was tacked on last minute. It really, like, you can tell from the voice actors
Yeah.
to everything. I honestly feel like the voice actors they had to say the lines in the game, they're like, hey, can you guys come back and record a lot of dialogue because now we're putting a story mode into it. And the story mode is what, 4 to 6 hours, I think they said you can get out of it?
Yeah, it's about 4 to 6, I would say.
Which is ridiculous, but like I said, in a world where the Tekken story exists and Injustice, both Injustice,
Mortal Kombat now.
you should be ashamed of yourself. That story is awful.
And that was something I said to you when you called me up to talk to me about it. I said, you know what? It is disappointing, but had like Tekken and Mortal Kombat and Injustice not stepped up the game for for story modes for fighting games, I probably wouldn't mind as much because this kind of feels like what we're already used to.
Yeah.
But now that we've kind of been a little spoiled, I would say, with these other fighting games and their story mode, it's like, wow, I mean, you should be ashamed of yourself.
With that being said, I can't say I'm not enjoying the game because when I'm playing with my son, who I play with mostly, I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
Like, we are having a blast. And just know the story mode is no. If you even pick this game up, skip the story mode. You'll thank me for it.
The only thing that sucks, though, is I came to your house. You're missing a lot of the stages because you didn't do story mode. I don't think that that's fair either. I think you shouldn't have to unlock stages in the story mode for a fighting game. I feel like those should just be given to you. But that was something that I was like, man, that kind of sucks. I don't feel like the story mode should, especially this one, shouldn't be required for me to play. It's not good at all.
It isn't. To go into the actual gameplay itself, I know we both had this discussion. They dropped a character in it. I went down from 3 to 2 in
Yes.
this one.
You also can't do tag assist.
Yes. Me personally, I actually like the 2 characters because what they've replaced the 3rd character with is the stone system. What?
Nothing. I'm just laughing because as you said stone, I thought of soul stone and how much I hate that stone.
I'm just saying, but I really like that system, and it was funny. The first night I got it, me and my wife were playing it together, and she doesn't play video games very much, but she picked the Stone Stone because she liked the way it looked, and I picked the Reality Stone, and she by mistake triggered it, and it brought one of her characters back, and I was like, that's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? It makes me go back as a person that plays fighting games and rethink my roster, the way I'm going to fight if I know she has the ability to bring back one of her characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And vice versa, like the space gem, the one you like to use all the time. It makes me realize that if you're going to pick that stone, I need somebody that has a final or a finisher that, you know, can project far away because you're going to stick me in a tiny box.
Yeah.
That I can't do anything, you know? So I think that's really interesting. I really like that concept, actually.
I do like the stones because it is different. It just felt weird to me because I've been so used to Marvel vs. Capcom being able to call for an assist while I'm in the middle of a combo that I was like, oh man, this is weird that I can't call for the assist. And the soul stones are weird only because if you're in the middle of a combo and you hit L1 just to do, not to activate the stone completely, but to do its like first effect, the space stone pulls you closer, mind stone like pulls them into a thing and drops them.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're in the middle of a combo, the stone has a certain radius to it, and if your combo puts them slightly out of it, you kind of just wasted that little bit of stone power. You know what I mean? So I think it's a little weird. It does require you now to not just know your team, but to now know the stone and what what it can do. I like the space one a lot, but it is still something that I need to.
And like you said, I kept playing with the cheapest one, the soul one.
Oh my
just
God.
because I really like the soul one. Like, there's nothing better than to me to go, I have another retry in my head. If things that work
It's
out.
funny because back when the game was coming out and before it even came out, the developers were being interviewed and they were talking about the soul stones. And like the nice thing about the soul stones is it gives players who aren't very good at the game an advantage. And the first thing I thought of was, well, what about the guys who are already really good and are using these things? You know what I mean? Like, you're better than me at fighting games. I'll openly admit that. The only one I would probably say that we're toe-to-toe with is Smash Brothers.
Yes.
That's because Smash Brothers isn't so much about combos, it's more about your positioning than it is about knowing what buttons you're pressing when. But in this, it would suck because I don't like using the Soul Stone because I personally feel cheap getting health back and then activating it to get a second person on the screen, or revive, which also really upset me when I killed one of your guys and you waited until he died and then you're like, activate the Soul Stone and heals back, and I was like, alright, well this sucks, now I gotta kill him again because I'm not even good, and it's like, alright, well now he got both his characters back, I'm gonna die. But I can see how the pro play, it's going to be interesting to see what they do if they even ban some stones.
It could be, and like I said, and it's not a lot of the stones. All of them do have devastating powers, and I really do like that. But in general, I really just like that concept of. I do like a concept where, like you said, it doesn't just matter your team now; it matters you knowing what stone goes well with each team. And it's funny that we both have our regulars already. You know, I mean, the game's only been out for what, a week?
Yeah.
We both have our regulars, but we've honestly been going out of our comfort zone. I usually use Chris and Dante. Those are my two favorites. But I just started using Gamora more because she's pretty nasty in that game as well.
My original team when I started, so no matter what, I wanted Dormammu to be one of my mains. Don't care what anyone says. I know when I was playing him, you're like, he's lazy. You don't really like Dormammu.
Nope.
I love Dormammu. I think he's probably one of the best characters in the game, personally. You can feel differently if you want.
Hey.
But at first, I used him in Ultron. But I felt Ultron never really synergized well with him. So then I switched to Dante, and I was like, okay, this is working out a little better. But I'm still trying to figure out exactly... Right now, I like him in Dante, but I'm trying to find that second character that really meshes well with him.
I feel like you got that possibility. I think Zero's really nasty in that game. I really like his. I'm usually, and you see my style. I like the guys with the juggling combos and fast-paced characters. They're always my favorites. That's why I don't like people like Thanos, Hulk, and I stay away from them. I've never been good with powerhouses.
Yeah, I don't like slow characters personally.
Which is hilarious because I'm 6'2", 300 pounds for life, and I'm like, I want a small, agile guy in a video game form. That's what I like.
Okay. Let's move on to the next game. Oh, before we do that, I'm sorry. What would you say this is? Let's give it a score, too. I know we don't usually like to.
Honestly, if you asked me the opening day, I would have said this is a skip. Do not buy. After playing it a little more with my kids, you in general, I would say this is not a must buy. This is a definitely buy if you're a Marvel Capcom fan. I would not recommend going for the $90 edition. I would stick with $60, and if you want those additional characters, spend the money you have to. Because at the end of the day, now thinking about it, I probably wouldn't have got all 6 characters anyway.
Yeah.
I would have picked and choose which ones I wanted.
The main one so far from what they've shown that's really exciting me is the Monster Hunter character. She's really the only one I really want, but I can understand that. Now, what would you give it a score 1 to 10 if you had to score it?
7.
Okay. So I would actually give it a 7.5. I'm in the same ballpark as you, and I actually I would say this is a buy if you see it on sale. Great fighting game. beautiful fighting game. The problem is, I think now there are better fighting games that are really good fighting games, but also have a really good story in case you lose internet, you don't have friends over, and you just want to, or if you just want a good story.
Yeah.
That's nice to have.
Well, the reason I'm indifferent to Marvel to always play this is, like I said, Mortal Kombat, Injustice, stuff like that. It's like, yeah, these are fun, but when it comes to actually playing with my kids, like my daughter even likes playing this game because she can pick, people from Marvel that she knows. She can pick Captain Marvel, or she can pick Iron Man, these characters she likes.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's fun about Marvel Capcom is it's almost still an innocent fighting game. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I can agree with that.
A lot of fighting games have taken themselves really serious. This game's like, you know what? I'm going to make Chris Redfield fight Spider-Man while a giant symbiote chasing him in the back. Let's do this, all right? I like it.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Let's move on to the next one, though. This one you're probably way more excited to talk about.
What, Metroid?
Yeah.
I love that game, man.
Metroid Samus Returns.
It's a beautiful game. Did you finally get it?
I do have it.
What'd you think?
That's what we're going to talk about right now.
All right.
Visuals. What do you think visually?
I think that game is gorgeous. It's better in 3D. I don't like games that are like that, but it's much better in 3D.
Yeah.
I really don't have any complaints about visuals besides the fact that it looks better in 3D. I do appreciate that this really feels like an old school Metroid game. Like you can't see her under the suit at all.
You only see it when you die.
Yeah. Like the fact you can't see her eyes or anything like that. Like they added that another M, and I hated that. Monster-wise and like creature development-wise, I really like them. I think it's pretty solid.
Okay. Visually, I agree. I think it does look really good. Probably one of the better 3DS games visually on the 3DS, and one of the very few, I would say, that also look really good with the 3D turned on.
Yeah.
I usually don't like it on either, but I actually did turn it on, and it wasn't something that hurt my eyes or anything like that.
Like I said, to me, it makes the game a little more enjoyable because some of the best things about that game is the background.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? You might see a monster just chilling in the background, moving his head up and down, or dripping, or this huge statue in the background that you're only getting half a glimpse at. You know what I mean? I really like that about visually about the game.
Let's talk about sound.
I have no issue with the sound, man.
Me neither. Sounds like classic Metroid.
It does.
If you like the music and the atmosphere of Metroid, you're gonna still love the soundtrack.
Yeah, and I've always enjoyed Metroid when you're winning a fight, the music gets a little higher, past. You know what I mean? Yeah, I've always liked that idea. You know what I mean? I thought that was.
Now here's the one I think you and me are going to be different on.
Ooh.
Gameplay.
I enjoy the gameplay.
I enjoy it. I find it to be dumbed down.
Really?
It actually really kind of hurt me sometimes playing it. The counter made it seem very easy to defeat enemies. I love the thing where in Metroid you're finding and discovering things yourself. I didn't like having the scan where I could basically see the whole map.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, but it's actually really funny. Did you read the description when you first got the scan?
No, I didn't.
It says if it doesn't recommend you using it for first time play to enjoy the experience of the game. And I was like, yeah, I agreed with you on that though, because I was like, you gave it to me, I'm going to use it anyway.
And I think that's what most people are going to do. They're going to read that and go,
you gave it to me.
I think that's something you should get after you beat the game already. Be like, oh, here's the scanner. If you missed anything, guess what? We'll show you where it is now.
But that's an issue.
Because I found myself getting my rocket count up really high, really quick, because I could easily just
I agree with you.
Scan.
I'm pretty nasty already in that game. And I haven't finished them. I've gotten to the 4th area now.
Okay.
With that being said, though, I feel like me and you both have a different opinion on the direction Nintendo seems to go. Nintendo back in the day was really for your Dark Soul crushing hard games like Metroid.
Super Metroid was.
Some of my favorite games have been Metroid. I really like them, but they are difficult games to the point like frustration. And I feel like this one has that perfect balance. There's a couple bosses that whoop my ass in this game, but you know what I mean? I was able to eventually overcome it and never got to that frustrating point. You know what I mean? Where somebody like you likes that. What's that pain? You know? Just likes to be hurt all the time. So I'm very much enjoying this. I feel like for a 3DS, the only issue I had with it, I told you, is I don't understand why they couldn't release this on the Switch.
I can agree with that.
You could have upscaled it a little bit, improved the colors, and it would have looked like a Switch game, in my opinion.
Yeah. I just felt the game felt a little too easy. Not that it's not difficult. It does have its difficult moments. I just think that, you know, if you look at it compared to the old Metroids, it's definitely not up there in difficulty, which is fine. I mean, you know, I get that Nintendo also makes games for kids, but those games were also for kids. You know, Super Metroid was still for everyone. It's not like that was for adults only. Enemy-wise, I would have liked to see a little more variation in enemies, but I give it a pass only because it is a 3DS game.
Right.
It's not something where I have this huge open world and I'm just seeing the same thing in a row. I can kind of understand a little more for that.
Now, let me ask you a question. I really enjoy this. In the beginning of the game, it pretty much tells you in the corner count how many Metroids you have to take out.
Yes.
To finish this
and
game.
You see the number keep going down.
Do you appreciate that?
I do like that because you're not left wondering what else is there to do.
Now, one thing I'm really enjoying about the game is I was feeling comfortable in how to beat Metroids. I was like, oh, I got this. And then all of a sudden, one evolved into a different direction and threw the entire gameplay off. How do you feel about that? That's something I'm really appreciating in the game.
I do like that a lot. I like that it gives you those curveballs every once in a while. I feel like, though, they should have done it sooner, and it should be something that's done more often. You know what I mean? Because basically every Metroid in the first area is the same.
Correct.
They're all the floating one. They have the same pattern. You kind of get used to it, and it's kind of like...
Well, that's what I liked about it. I was starting to get used to it. I'm like, oh, that's it. And then I get to the first one you see evolve and jump into a new form. I was like, what is this?
That's the one that crawls on the floor, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and he can also walk on the ceiling, I believe. Yeah.
And then you get to the one later. I don't know if you got to this one, but it's standing upright. And it rolls at you.
Yep.
And I really...
That was the last one I
actually really liked that fight because that one took you right out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? You know that every other one you could avoid by just jumping. And that one, it's like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, man. It's jumping in
It would be nice, though, if every Metroid was different. Personally. I mean,
technically, if you want to go technically, that game has... What does the count start at? 40?
It is 40.
Yeah, it's like... That's 40 bosses in this game, technically. You know
yeah.
I mean? For a 3DS game.
I agree. It just sucks that, like, the first map... What is it? Like, there's 10? I think it's 10 in each section. And all 10 are the same. You know, that's what just kind of... Because it's not challenging at that point when you know exactly what to do every time. I wouldn't even mind if they changed the move setup. If it was the same, but this one now does something a little different. Like, instead of him having the electric charge, it's a fire charge that leaves a trail. And you have to now actually jump over the trail instead of just jumping straight up over him when he comes. But that's just me. And I don't think the game's bad. I know sometimes when I talk about Nintendo and I say, like, things I don't like, people automatically are like, oh.
I know, man. We don't get a lot of comments, but I do get a lot of my friends that listen to it that, like, attack me. What's up with your boy, man? Huh? Hates
Really?
Nintendo? I'm like, he doesn't. Calm down. We're all good here.
Yeah.
We're all good.
So what would you say this is? Is this a buy, a rent?
Come on.
Pass?
It's a Nintendo game.
Oh, it's a pass.
It's a must-own, okay? If you have a 3DS, in my opinion, if you have a 3DS, this is a must-own. If you don't have a 3DS, it's a must-buy a 3DS for this game. I love it. I'm sorry. No, I'm really impressed with this game. I'm really happy. Usually, I don't go to my 3DS for anything but Pokemon. You know that.
Yeah.
I've literally played Pokemon for the past... I've had this 3DS for 6 years. I've played nothing but Pokemon on that 3DS. So this is the first thing that took me out of that direction. I'm really happy with it.
Score-wise, what would you give it if you had to give it a score?
I'm going to give it a 9.
Okay.
Only on the basis of like I said, the only complaint I had about it, besides the fact it wasn't on the Switch, is the same thing you said, a lot of the Metroids, even though there is 40 of them, the first, 10, like you said, were the same exact pattern. And I feel like, hearing from your point of view, that does make sense. If they would have just changed up a little bit of the direction, like maybe this one flies in this direction at you, if nobody can see me because we're on a podcast, but one flies in a...
Zigzag.
You know what I mean? Yeah. In a different direction. I think that would have made a little more variety when you're playing. But I still give it a 9. It's an amazing game.
Okay. I'm actually going to say it is a buy, especially if you have a 3DS. This is a must-own if you're a 3DS owner. If you don't have a 3DS, this is another reason to get a 3DS. I would say, in my opinion, probably the best games on the 3DS right now are that, some of the Pokemon games, and the Dragon Quest games are also amazing. And if you're a Zelda fan, you have the old Zelda games to play as well. So there's really, if you don't have a 3DS and you're looking for a good handheld, 3DS honestly is looking like the best option out there, especially with this to add. Score-wise, I'm going to give it an 8.5.
I can understand that.
And that's simply because my favorite, it does not take my favorite spot in Metroid still.
I agree with you. Super Metroid
is
is still my favorite Metroid, hands down. The reason I think I appreciate this so much and why I'm holding it is it feels like a sequel to Super Metroid.
Yeah.
And everyone knows sequels are never as good sometimes.
And I just feel like I wish they would have tweaked a few more things here and there. 8.5 isn't a bad score. I'm sure there's still going to be people who come up to me and are like, "What's wrong?
Fight me, man, huh?
Yeah.
What is this, another Metroid Fusion?" Calm down. We're all friends. I like Metroid Fusion. I'm sorry.
I actually really like Metroid Fusion too, but I do really like the game. I just find it to be a little easier than previous titles because of the scan. I know I don't have to use it.
Yeah.
But you're giving it to me as an option direct out of the get-go.
Like I said, I do feel like Nintendo... That's why Breath of the Wild felt so odd when it came out, because Nintendo has been very handheld lately, and I don't mean that as a joke as a DS. Like, they hold your hand in a lot of these games.
Yeah.
That's why Breath of the Wild just releasing you in the wild, I'm like, good luck.
It was a breath of fresh air.
It was. So it's weird. So Nintendo does do a lot, and people like me that get really frustrated with games easily appreciate it. But I can understand somebody like you that likes challenge in life. You know what I mean? Not appreciating it so much.
All right, but those are our 2 reviews. Hopefully you guys liked them. Now let's move on to the news. We have quite a few things, actually.
The music kicked on. Did you hear it? Did you hear the music? I mean, you can't. You put it in afterwards, so I get really excited. You know what I mean?
You're ruining the magic of editing.
Oh, I apologize.
Some people might not know that I edit this. They might think that it all happens.
The minute we say the news, music just gets. You ever hear that? I really like the music. It's really like exciting. It almost like a couple punches at you. Like, oh, what's going on? Information coming right at me. This is fantastic.
I'm glad you like it. I hope everyone else does. No one ever comments anything to me except that I hate Nintendo.
That is usually. You remember that one guy that was pissed at you? It sounded like a 3-day war.
Anyway, first up, Venom might have just casted its Carnage. It's saying that
we're just jumping now. That's what we're doing.
Oh, I told you that those were the first 2.
I see it now. I like it. Well, this guy was casted a while ago. They said for an unknown part.
Yes. So now it's rumored that Riz Ahmed is going to play Cletus Cassidy, which is Carnage. I actually think this could be cool, but it could also be a disaster. And a lot of people might hear me say this and think, wow, he's racist. It actually doesn't have to do with the fact that he's Arabic. It has to do with the fact that he's Arabic, and I feel like they're going to make him a terrorist. If they can do it the right way, just make him a serial killer without tying it to his religion or anything like that, cool. But I feel like because he's an Arabic actor, if they say, oh, he's a religious serial killer, you know what I mean? That's going to paint a bad color for this movie.
I can see that. If that's the direction they're going with. I find it's not that I have an issue with him changing his ecstasy. It's just weird because that's what Carnage is. He was a serial killer that got the symbiote, and I've always used to that red crazy hair because redheads are insane.
And he didn't have a soul.
Yeah, now you're taking it too far.
All right, I'm sorry.
I don't think. I doubt though. Maybe I don't know.
That's the problem with Hollywood. In my head, this wouldn't even happen. Not him being the actor. That's fine. What is going through my head of, oh man, what if they make it like some religious?
Well,
thing?
we can only hope, in my opinion, and this is the way I feel like casting should be done. Is the character is already written. This actor came in, auditioned, and he was the best person to match that character, and that's what happened. So, forget race, just throw it in.
That's what I'm hoping it is too. I just don't want.
I'm actually more annoyed that Carnage is going to be the villain potentially in this movie. I did not want Carnage.
Me neither, especially not for a first one.
And especially with a no Spider-Man movie, you know what I mean?
Carnage is 100%, in my opinion, a climax villain. Ooh. Like if this is a trilogy, he's big boss. He's the end game. So it feels a little weird to start off with him, unless this is a team up. That might be okay because we have seen Carnage and Venom team up before.
I don't like it. Don't like it.
We've also seen them fuse.
Yes.
I
I
didn't like
honestly,
that.
I would have rather seen a more. You're already giving me such a crazy. You're giving me a space alien. Depending on what origin story they're going with Venom, I'm assuming they're
Yeah.
doing space alien. They could do Peter Parker and Eddie Brock's father made it in the lab. Who knows? But you're giving me such a fantastic idea of like this symbiote ooze takes over me and gives me a suit. I would like to see a villain more grounded in realism to contradict with that. I've always appreciated that. So, you know what I mean? Somebody I feel like that could have been okay. That makes sense. That's the opposite of.
Didn't Shocker put up a pretty good fight against him because of his gauntlets?
I was thinking Shocker could be, and you already introduced him in Spider-Man: Homecoming.
But I don't know if that means now he's off the table.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But Dr. Octopus, to me, was somebody that came up with an idea of having, you know what I mean, Venom, or not a Venom, Venom.
Venom against Venom.
Right, yeah, Rhino of some sort, you know what I mean? So, a character like
Mysterio.
that. Mysterio, you know, what's the one that can turn into water?
I forget his name. He was a...
Hydra?
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
I only remember him from the animated series,
Yeah.
honestly.
Or Sandman, who is one of my favorite villains. I really
We
like
can hear
Sandman.
Venom squeal again when he punches him.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's great. But yeah, it's probably gonna bring up Spider-Man 3 back in mind. I forgot they were in the same movie. But that's who I'd rather see him go against. You know, something technology based or something like that. Or
That wouldn't
or
be
is
bad
it-
either.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't. To see two symbiotes fighting, it's like.
Or I wouldn't mind seeing him face, like, you know, Punisher or Daredevil, an anti-hero or something.
Silver Stable
That would also be a good one.
and her little group of lackeys and everything.
Yeah.
Word.
But yeah, so I hope that they just treat the character well and they don't take it in
I
some
want
weird
this to
direction.
be a Venom is to me a really nice, complicated character, and you especially doing Eddie Brock's story. I really like Eddie Brock's story because, like you said earlier, when you were like, I want to see a movie where Spider-Man is looked at as the villain, like in Suicide Squad. And I do feel like if you ever read any of Eddie Brock's arcs, he looked at Spider-Man like he was the villain. You know,
He
what I
was
mean?
the reason that he lost his job.
You know what I mean? Lost his job, lost his girl, lost everything. Besides that, he felt like Spider-Man was a menace, you know what I mean, to
Yeah.
society. He could never get the job done, you know what I mean? So I'd appreciate a character like that. If you're going to do it right, you know what I mean? I don't want to see, you know, a hipster fun Venom that everybody is going to, you know, girls are going to go crazy over and start wanting to dress up like next year for Halloween.
God. It's only a matter of time.
I feel like that's what Hollywood's done to Joker already. As much as I do like what Jared Leto did, it's like the fact that women were like, "Oh, he's so hot." I'm like, "He's the Joker. He's killed children before. That man has murdered children. Not cool."
Yeah, the last thing we need is Marvel to get Venom canceled.
Yeah. Yes.
Like it did.
Before it even gets a chance to air. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Before it's even up there. Like in Humans.
Oh man! All right. First off, we both said it. It looked terrible.
It did.
It looked like, you know what it looked like? A 90s wannabe TV special with superheroes that couldn't even get a full series attached to it. Oh, man. It looked like the girl with the hair, the costume, like what were they? It looked like 1990s superhero costumes.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It looks like someone took a turd and put glitter on it.
Yeah, called it Inhumans. First off,
I feel bad though because I know you're not a fan of these characters at all.
No.
I actually was getting interested in them with the comics and all.
Well, I'm so frustrated that Marvel is kind of like trying to, and this is why I'm not into them, is because the whole shoving it down my throat, because we want to separate ourselves from X-Men, because Fox has had the right from X-Men since 1999, you know?
Yeah.
So, it's...
I do think Disney is like, you know what, if we don't own it, kill it. And
they really are. You've seen it at Marvel Capcom.
yeah.
And you're
no
seeing
X-Men characters. Not even as the DLC characters are we getting any X-Men.
Yeah, and
I'm shocked they're even giving us Venom, to be honest, because that's going to be a Sony movie.
Yeah.
But
I honestly, I'm shocked, but it looked terrible, especially the girl with the red hair, the purple outfit. Oh,
yeah,
oh.
everything looked really bad. It almost looked like a fan-made show.
It's weird that this is in the same universe as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like, why?
Well, it's probably good then that they canceled it. I'm hoping that this doesn't mean that the Inhumans isn't going to happen. I hope they just realize what they were doing was a mistake. Let's relook at this. start all over.
Yeah. Marvel, as you're sitting on the throne right now, Marvel. You're comfortable. You're up there. Just know you could fall and fall far. Okay.
Any moment.
Any moment. People already are starting to get a little sick of the Marvel humor. You know what I mean? People are already starting to be like, yeah, I laughed at that joke already. Stop it.
They already put it in their game. Marvel vs. Capcom is constantly trying to do that too.
I do feel like, you know what I mean, there's something about people when they start feeling like they're being force-fed. You know what I mean? When people realize that you're pissing on their leg and calling it rain, and they realize that it's piss, they'll go at you. You know what I mean? They'll hunt you down. So calm down, Marvel. Because you might fall far. You might fall far. Really hard. You know what I mean? Giant hands.
Speaking of things that look bad, Tomb Raider.
Oh, thank you. You're on the same page. It looks horrendous, doesn't it?
Does someone tell you that it looked good?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay. First off, this is. Everybody online was quoting that this is going to be the redemption for video game movies. Where? Assassin's Creed looked better than that.
I agree.
Trailer-wise.
That was the worst first trailer you could reveal. I honestly thought it was a joke when I saw it.
I agree.
I literally thought it was a fan-made thing.
What cracks me up is this is a huge actress that's playing Lara Croft. This woman has won awards, has been nominated.
How did she agree to this?
Okay, yeah, that's where it stops. Like after that, every other actor, yeah, Dominic West in it as her father. Like he hasn't done anything since The Wire. He was hungry. Hey, Dominic West, you mind playing Lara Croft's father? Will I get to eat? Get to eat something? I'm starving. And it just, okay, first off, I got frustrated with it. The first complaint about the first two movies that came out with Angelina Jolie was you took an independent character like Laura and made her a daddy's girl that was obsessed with her father. That wasn't independent because she was just trying to follow her daddy's footsteps. Everybody complained about that because you took a beloved character that was so strong. What was in this trailer to start off with?
The same exact
The
thing.
same exact. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
But that's kind of where the games have went now.
I agree with you. I understand.
So I can
that.
understand that because this is based off of the new games.
And one that is annoying me because I liked how fantastic the original games were and how you were fighting monsters and stuff like that. And these new games that are real grounded in realism, I don't like that.
They have. The new games remind me a lot of Uncharted, where it's grounded in reality, and then they have that one paranormal spin at some point. Because the first game had the samurai guys, and the second game had another thing.
It's still, I do like the actor playing the bad guy in it. I forgot his name. He's the one with a giant forehead. He's been in a bunch of stuff. I do like him as an actor. But overall, I think this looks terrible.
It does look really
The boat scene looked horrendous. And it's like...
I honestly, like I said, the whole time I'm watching it, I thought it was a joke. I was like, this can't be real.
What cracks me up, though, is I feel like there's always an issue with video games. I feel like Assassin's Creed was the first one to do it right, where people were like, okay, we know what people like, the video games. So let's take these amazing scenes in the video games and translate them to film. Never works, okay? Only time I've ever seen it work in my life is the eagle jump in Assassin's Creed the movie. Looked beautiful, was amazing. But besides that, no. Stop it. And like the whole boat scene looked dumb, and then
it's just funny because I really feel like these guys who are making these movies just don't understand the games.
No,
they don't understand what it is about them that we
just give up making video games. It's not going to work. There's never been a good one. It's never going to be a good one.
You know what? There was a good one. The Last of Us. Did you watch The Road?
Shut up.
It was The Last of Us, man.
Okay. I'm severely disappointed. This is I can't see them releasing a trailer to redeem this. And the part in the trailer where she was like, "I'll take two of the guns." What a smack in the face of fans. What a smack in the face. Stop it. Like I'm gonna be like, "Oh, she's got two guns in the game. Well, I gotta get it now."
At least so far, there's only one. It's not a trilogy.
Because that does happen often, and especially when you've been waiting years for this third one, and then it comes out and looks like it's been filmed by your brother in his garage.
Man, we were just we've been getting bad trailer after bad trailer. And this one does not is right up there with it because it's Jeepers Creepers 3.
Okay, first off, what is that? Is that a real trailer? Because I looked it up 3 different times because I was like, that's not the real trailer. Because that really does look so low budget.
It does.
And so terrible.
Yeah.
Did anybody realize the thing that made the first 2 special is the creeper was barely on screen?
Yeah.
And you could barely see him or make him out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you do nothing but show his face in broad daylight, he's no longer terrifying.
I don't remember the trailers for the first 2 ever even showing his face.
No.
But in this third one,
do you remember what made the first one so special? I remember when that came out. The way they advertised it is they made him look like a serial killer. In the beginning of the first movie, he looks like a normal guy.
Yeah.
All the way up into the end
when he gets the wings.
Yeah. So that's what made it so special. So even in the second one, they barely showed his like demonic form until the end. This movie was like, oh, people know about it. Let's show it. And he looks terrible. He looks terrible, man. Looks like they used the prosthetics from the first one. Said, we don't got to make it more.
I think my least favorite line of that trailer, too, was when the guy was like, Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those eyes? Like, he was trying to quote the song.
Yeah.
He was like, that's the song he listens to.
It looked... I don't know what they were thinking. Why this is what they chose to release years later. How long has it been since the second one? It's got to be over 10 years, man.
Yeah. You know what's really sad, though?
Because
in a world...
People were sharing this on Facebook like, can't wait.
That, too.
What? What trailer did you watch?
But in a world where I just saw it, and I'm not a big horror movie fan, don't get me wrong. I actually did enjoy the first 2 Jeepers Creepers. Back when I was a young lad and I was kind of into horror movies because, you know, you brought the girls to see horror movies. That's how you got them to hold your hand and cuddle up on you. Anyway, I was kind of into horror movies back then. Completely fell out of it. It kind of almost got me back into maybe wanting to see horror movies. And then I saw this trailer and I was like, nope, this is why I don't see them. It looks like crap.
And what annoys me is... I don't know what direction they're going to, but I feel like they got really lucky. The first 2 had so different stories, it made them both... Because technically, if you watch Jeepers Creepers 2, that could have been Jeepers Creepers 1. It had such a different story. It was about the bus, the survival, and a father trying to hunt it down because it took his kid. And that's what made it so special. And looking at this trailer, it looks like they're like, well, we can't get any of those actors back because our budget is $7. Okay, and the suit cost us $5, right?
And that was to rent it. We couldn't even. We sold it after the second one.
It wasn't like they can't afford to film at night. You know, our movie all in broad daylight like that.
It is in daylight.
That movie looks horrendous. And the worst one, they were like...
For them to film at night, they had to be able to buy lights.
Yes.
They couldn't afford the lights.
Somebody online was like, Jeepers Creepers 3 trailer finally dropped. I'm like, oh, word. So I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, this must be the spoof that's coming out before it. Where's the real trailer? Oh, no, that's it. That's it. What were they thinking, man?
I don't think they were thinking. You know, there's nothing more upsetting than when you put something out that no one asked for.
These trailers were so bad for Tomb Raider and Jeepers Creepers, you could have combined them, and I wouldn't have noticed it.
That probably would have been a way more interesting trailer, though. You would have gotten your sci-fi. Laura Croft versus Jeepers Creepers.
But that's how bad these 2 trailers were. And they were like ones everybody was waiting for, and this is what you give us.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, but then again, we're getting stuff that we never asked for that nobody was waiting for. Like more stuff for Battleborn.
Yeah. Apparently, Battleborn is getting one more update, and then the game is done with updates. No more new content or anything like that.
Do you realize you can buy the full game of Battleborn at $5 below right now?
Yeah.
And not even for $5. It's $4.
It's
there.
below.
Okay. You can get Flushed Away on DVD for $5. Well, Battleborn for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One
on a Blu-ray.
That's $4. Get it out of the store, please.
Jesus.
Who's still playing this game?
I guess no one if they're only doing one more update.
Well, didn't they realize the mistake they made? Like, Battleborn, it would have been good, but it came out at the same time as Overwatch.
Yeah. And they really combated Overwatch, too. Like, a lot of their marketing was targeted at saying, we're better than Overwatch.
Oh, yeah, how'd that work out for them?
It didn't. not at all.
So, I mean, the servers aren't getting shut down for this. You know what I mean? They're still going to...
They haven't said anything about servers being shut down, but that is what I wanted to get to, where that could be the next step. And that's where people now may reconsider buying certain games.
What...
Oh, excuse me.
It is a question. That is the unfortunate thing. Like I said, I made the joke about the Five Below, but I did pick it up from Five Below. And I played Battleborn. It's not a terrible game.
No.
It's not a terrible game.
I think the story mode's very repetitive.
Yeah.
But
my issue with it, like you said, is if the servers get shut down, what did I just buy?
a coaster.
Or somebody that bought it at launch. You know what I mean? For full price.
Yeah.
I can't see too many people. Right now it's like the same 4 guys playing. You know what I mean? One of them is the developer.
It's the same 4 guys sitting in a queue together. They're all friends, and they're just waiting for more people to get on.
Time will tell. This is going to be the hit.
I feel bad because now we're going to get a comment down below. It's going to be, Battleborn's amazing. I don't know.
I guess you were just on Overwatch's genitalia, but this is the game. And I'm not speaking, to take it back, I'm not speaking ill about anybody, but that is a possibility. It was, a lot of the PS2 servers finally got shut down like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
After years. That doesn't happen now. If a game stinks and it's not doing well, they'll shut that server off right away nowadays. They're like, save money, wrap this up, you know what I mean? Like, you know.
I mean, if you were playing 500, F those guys.
Cut it off. It's done. And it happens more often than not. I remember Matrix Online.
Yeah, that didn't last very long.
You know what I mean? That game was getting hyped up. You know what I mean? It didn't care about like the 700 subscribers they still had. They're like, cut it off. Cut it off. Cut it off. You want to see what happens in Neo? Watch the movie.
Oh, you thought you were the one?
Yeah, gone. It's over. And it's, like I said, that's what I do feel bad.
I bet before the server shut down, there was one guy who typed a message, I can save us. I can stop them from burning off the server. He's
still trying to get the server on right now.
He stands in front of their studio with a gun.
Oh, boy.
Turn it back on!
But I do feel, and like this is, like you said, it is funny that, you know what I mean, you got to be very careful with these online games that you buy at launch. You got very lucky with Overwatch. I mean, everybody and their mother got lucky with Overwatch because everybody plays that game now.
Yeah, but it could have been flipped.
It absolutely could have. And it's funny that, you know what I mean, you technically, when you're buying these online-only games, that's what you're getting.
Star Wars Battlefront. Battlefront 2 is about to come out.
Yep.
And although it has a campaign, I think you still have to be online to even get access into the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's a risk you're taking.
I remember GameStop, one of the free things I got from a conference was SOCON when it came out. And that constantly, their servers got shut off on that constantly for like maintenance and stuff. So it was like, oh, I guess can't play this for a week or 3 or anything. And when that big outage happened,
I think it was like 3 months.
Yeah, you know what I mean? There you go. You bought all these online games. You're not doing anything with them.
Yeah.
But it's okay because I got a PlayStation Pro.
Thank you, PlayStation.
Thank you, PlayStation Pro. Overall, though, I'm sorry if you're playing Battleborn. Good luck. Hang in there. See what happens.
Now to get on to some brighter news, Tokyo Game Show showed us a lot of stuff. Let's start with Evil Within 2.
This does look really good.
Oh, man. It does.
Now, what I realize now, because this got me a little more excited, this isn't made by the same developer that made the first one. This is made by the guy that did the DLC for the first one.
Yeah.
I didn't get to play the DLC. From what I heard, though, it's really fun, and a lot of the monsters in the DLC were scarier than the ones in the main game.
Okay.
So what do you think? You think this is a good thing and there's a positive direction?
I mean, so far from what I've seen, yeah. I mean, did you see the gameplay of the boss that's head is a camera?
Yes.
That thing is creepy.
And
it's a woman's body.
Yeah. I'm actually shocked. And how long ago did Evil Within 1 come out?
I think it came out in 2013, maybe 2012.
It looks like a huge jump, you know, look-wise, yeah.
Well, don't forget, the first one did also have to come out on PS3.
You know what? I
and
completely forgot
360.
about that. But it does look like a huge jump, you know what I mean? I'm really actually appreciating that, you know, so I was not as excited for this game until recently. Now I'm starting to get pretty hyped for it.
It looks like, because the very first half of the first game was really creepy and scary, and it wasn't until they got to like the main city and it just got weird, and it was like, this isn't as much of a horror as it is action towards the end. It looks like they're really nailing that constant horror feel so far.
I think, and you get that trouble a lot in horror games, even Resident Evil 7, which we were both in love with. When you get towards the mines at the end, you're so badass, there's nothing to be afraid of, you know what I mean?
It does turn into an action game.
Yeah, so maybe we can get a game like a Dead Space that's terrifying beginning to end. You know what I mean? Because Dead Space is one of the only games where,
Dead Space was pretty creepy, constantly.
But I do think this looks really good, and visually I like the fact that I can tell this is a sequel to Evil Within, but like I said, it is still a huge jump graphically, man. Like, to the point where is that the same character on the first one? Oh, it is. Okay, we're good.
The creator of the game, I know I'm going to say his name wrong, he's also the guy who created the original Resident Evil games, Shinmi Megami, I believe his name is.
I think you got it.
I think I did too.
I think that's it.
Maybe. Anyway, he was saying, though, since Doom and Wolfenstein were announced for Switch, he would like to see Evil Within 2 go to the Switch as well. Once again, man, I don't know. Did you see the Doom gameplay finally?
On the Switch?
Yes. They did post it. What did you think?
When I saw it originally, just by itself, I was like, oh, this looks really good. This is fantastic. It was seeing the side-by-side where I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
A lot darker. And a lot more.
You can really see the block, like the lining looks more jagged, I would say.
And it's besides the lining look jagged. The one thing I noticed big time was they showed the side by side when you're breaking out in the beginning, and in the PlayStation 4 you can see, like, you look at my hand clenched here, you can see my veins right here and all that. You can see that in the PlayStation 4 one, clear as day. The Switch version, although the hand looked good, I could tell it was skin and all that, I couldn't see the details.
It's like those finer details.
You know what I mean?
Took out.
And it almost looks like there's a gloss on the Switch version of it, to the point where if you never played Doom and you picked it up for the Switch, you're going to be like, oh, this is a gorgeous game.
Yeah.
If you played it on the PS4 and you played it for the Switch, you're going to notice, hey, this is a bit of a step down, but it's still great. You look at them side by side, you're going to realize how much quality you're losing.
Yeah.
Because it
is also, the frame rate is different. It's 30 frames a second on the Switch, which we knew. We did say that before they even announced it. We kind of already knew that was going to happen.
But you could, what was the one scene I seen where they were showing the PlayStation 4 battle fight, everything going on, and they showed it in the Switch version. Now, unfortunately, all I could see was dock mode or undocked mode. So I don't know how the dock mode runs. But like you said, there was so much going on in the PlayStation 4 one, not as much at the Switch version. So it kind of makes me second guess wanting to pick it up now. Yeah. Because, you know what I mean, if I played it how it should have been, why should I go backwards? Like you said, pay full price for, you know, a lesser version of the game.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's my fear now for Wolfenstein, and that would be my fear for Evil Within 2. Not that the game would be bad, but it would be obviously a step down.
Yeah. I did notice, the one thing I did notice, I'm sure a couple people that watch it too, since you're losing a lot of things, they did try to put a little more details where they could in the Switch version, but it also made it look really weird in my opinion. Like, I noticed the PlayStation 4 version of the armor was very generic looking. I kind of like that. Kept your character like, this is probably...
Like he's just another soldier.
Yeah. Where in the Switch version, you can see that there's like detail underneath the armors and there's more cracks and stuff like that. And I feel like, I don't know if I actually like that. You know what I mean? I just like that generic soldier armor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That way it can be me under there. or Willie. Who knows?
Also from TGS, we got another look at one of our big titles that you and me are really excited for, Monster Hunter Worlds.
In 4K?
In 4K. They showed off some multiplayer. They showed off their flagship monster as well as the new big boss monster, character customization. You can also customize your little cat friend that follows you, your Paleto.
Is there anything about this game that you haven't liked so far that they showed?
Honestly, no.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
This is one of the few games where I've seen so much on it. I kind of don't have any worries. I've just been like, give it to me.
This is not only a day one for me, and you know me and how angry I get about these. This is, if you release a collector's edition, I'll probably pick it up.
They did announce a collector's edition. Collector's Edition is going to come with a statue, which even I'm tempted to get it. I might buy 2 copies of the game, one digital and one physical, just because I really want the statue of their new flagship monster. I forget the name of it. I think it's Nigante. It sounds very Spanish, but it's not really Spanish.
I do like what I've seen so far of this game is you have a lot going on in the screen. I'm not even just talking about battle-wise. Just background-wise, the way it leaves, moving, ocean, anything. At least in what I've seen in gameplay, I've never seen a frame rate issue, anything drop. It looks like that game just runs.
And the world looks so alive.
It does. That's one thing I really like.
Regardless of if you're moving or not, the monsters are still interacting with one another. They're still doing their thing, and I thought that was really cool.
And one thing I really liked about this, and I know it's such a weird thing, we have a friend of ours that always hates certain running animations. It will ruin a game for him. And we always make fun of him for that.
Yeah.
But looking at Monster Hunter and the way this character moves, it just looks so much more natural in Monster Hunter World. And I know that's so weird to say, that he just walks better. But it does make a difference, and it doesn't take you out of it. You know what I mean? And I think I really do like that. He walks like somebody with armor on. You know what I mean? That's dragging a giant sword behind him. You know what I mean? That makes more sense to me. And I don't know if it's the option in graphics now or they're just looking at them little details, but little details like that do get me excited.
Yeah. So the flagship monster, they did say some of the things about him. One was, while you're fighting him, he's going to grow these spikes. If you don't break the spikes off, the more spikes he has, he gets stronger. Sometimes he will run away to grow more spikes to get stronger and come back and beat you. So he's a monster that if he starts to leave, you don't want to let him get away.
Yeah.
You want to stay on him. I just think that's such a cool... It's just so different that it's man, I have to keep up with this guy or he's going to come back even. It's almost like the Nemesis system in Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War.
It is a neat concept. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I just pictured him. You want to cut me? All right. Watch. We'll come back. We'll come back hard for you.
With more knives. More knives. You got a knife.
He's trying to cook your little chicken. He's busting on you. What it look like now, huh?
You see with duct tape.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You should have finished me.
I want you. I want you.
Either way, though, I'm super excited for this. I feel like, honestly, with this podcast, we're going to make a special event out of Monster Hunter World.
I do think we should probably stream it.
And it's going to be sooner than we thought.
It is. I forgot all about saying the release date, which was the most exciting part. January 26th. I didn't think we would see this any sooner than March. And March was even in my head
pushing it this is early.
It's not really probably going to hit March. January 26th. That is right after holidays.
Yes. That is breath of fresh air. The holidays are over. Bam, Monster Hunter. So I do want to make a special event out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Make a big thing, like you said, stream it right away. Get both our reactions playing this, you know what I mean? Have both our eyes lit up. So it'd be like the time we attempted to film my reaction to me playing Zelda for the first time and then you forgot to record. Remember that? That got weird.
I did. I'm sorry.
Still mad about that.
I'm sorry. What else did we have?
New title?
Oh, yes. Square Enix just announced a new game, survival action shooter. It's called Left Alive. The art for this game is all done by the guy who did the art for Metal Gear.
I noticed that.
Yeah. Beautiful art. And the game kind of reminds me a lot of Metal Gear 2. It's all mechs. It's first person. You're a guy on the ground. I'm pretty interested in it. They didn't show a lot, but it has me intrigued to want to keep seeing more.
Okay. All right. Like you said, I have to give it a little more to see in it. I did see on our website, we were talking about it a little bit, which you need to check out, enthusiast.net. But, like you said, there's a lot of shooters, there's a lot of survival right now, so I would need to see something to make it stand out.
Yeah, it definitely needs something. And you can't just be like, hey, we have the guy who did the Metal Gear art. Yeah. That's not really going to sell anyone on it. Kind of tickles my fancy a little, but...
You tickle my fancy.
Oh, thanks. we had the new shadow of the Colossus trailer.
Oh, I can't wait for this game.
And you know what's funny? They didn't even show anything new. It's all the same Colossus.
We know they're going to release the same game to us, and we're okay with that.
Well, they did say they added new Colossus to it.
Did they really?
They did.
How many more?
I believe it's 4.
So I wonder if it's the 2 deleted ones that are coming back.
It's probably the 2 deleted and 2 brand new ones. Now, I don't know if this is confirmed. I'm pretty sure, though, I saw them say that they were...
Well, there is that empty value in the game, remember? That just made no sense in the original PlayStation 2 release and even the PlayStation 3 release. And I know I watched special features that there was supposedly going to be a Colossus in there, but they just didn't have time and ended up just being an empty value. So I wonder where the locations are. Because that was one thing that was brilliant about the game. You could head any direction.
From the get-go.
Yeah, and face any Colossus you wanted. And I love that game, man.
Me too.
I love that game.
Are you nervous about replaying it and not loving it as much?
No.
Me neither.
Not at all.
Because I played the PS3 one not too long ago.
Honestly, I'm no spoilers. I'm nervous for that heartbreak at the end that you know is coming. Because when I played the PS3 version, I was like, I know it's coming, and I was still like, oh, like it's just. And I'm not, for anybody that hasn't played it, I don't care if you're the biggest, toughest man in the world, grab a box of tissues towards the end of that game, man. Because it's going to hit you hard.
Yeah.
It's hitting me right now.
It's such a good game, though.
It was a beautiful game. And you want to talk about a game, I always make jokes about games that don't give a lot of directions that piss me off. That game gave you no direction.
Nope.
It said, here's a sword, here's a horse. You want to bring your dead girl back? Kill some of these monsters. Go. You know what I mean?
But you know what was also amazing about that game when I look back at it, and it always blows my mind? That was a PS2 game that had no load screens.
None.
Massive.
And on top of that, what I really appreciated was everybody talked about, hey, technically it's all one level, but it wasn't because each Colossus felt like a level. You know what I mean?
Oh my god.
It wasn't, something you beat away right away. Even the first Colossus in that game is an experience.
Yeah.
Climbing it, hunting, looking
And
for...
each Colossus gives you like that adrenaline rush.
Yes.
I remember the whole time I'm playing, I'm watching my little stamina bar, and I'm like, oh, I'm not at a spot where I can stand.
And then at the point where you get knocked off of it, but like especially the one with the giant sword, where I get knocked off and fall on his belt and just land perfectly so I didn't fall.
You're praying for him not to move?
Yeah, but that's what made this game so special. And to this day, I still want to do the tattoo. A little fur with a weak point, because it was so cool, especially when you discovered a new one in the game. You stabbed the one to the top of his head enough, and then all of a sudden one popped up on his back, getting down.
Yeah. There was one, I think it was the second to last Colossus, that huge one, that had about like 12 weak points you had to look for on him.
I still think it's funny is technically you can see the last Colossus the entire time you're playing.
Oh yeah.
In the distance, and you didn't know it until you get to it, and you're like, oh, crap. But,
I also like the game did not tell you how to increase your health or increase your stamina. You kind of just had to figure it out on your own.
I think that is. There's always those special games, you know what I mean? Me and our buddy Scott was talking about it the other day. He always said Ocarina of Time is one of the most special games to him, and I feel the same way about Shadow of Colossus. I feel like everybody that's played that game has had such an emotional tie to it. And I've never met anybody, I don't know about you, that was like, oh, I tried it once and didn't really like it.
Yeah, I don't think I have either.
Anybody I've ever met, you play Shadow of Colossus, one of the best journeys I've ever been on. And I went to Bangkok in real life.
So, all right. Continuing off of that, Detroit gave us another trailer as well. This is by the guys that did Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls.
And Indigo Prophecies. That one out.
It's
starring Jesse Williams.
Starring quite a few people, actually.
Oh, Jesse Williams, he's so attractive.
Are you excited for this game?
I am, only because I really liked Heavy Rain, though, and Indigo Prophecies. Beyond Two Souls, so,
Beyond Two Souls to me was a miss.
Yep.
I did really like Heavy Rain, and because Heavy Rain was so good, I'm willing to give these guys another chance.
I agree. I agree with you on that. Plus, you know what I mean? We always cry that we want something different. You know what I mean? And here's this studio going, here's something different. You know what I mean? So, is it something? It's to me though. This is like a Telltale game. Is it a day one for me? No. It's something I can wait, see the reviews, and be like, oh yeah, I'll pick it up.
I can understand that. Yeah, I definitely think I'm in the same boat. The trailer was good. Didn't really show anything too new. Kind of just a recap of what they've already been showing us.
Jesse Williams.
Yeah, but I am excited for more. Something I'm also excited to announce. Final Fantasy IX came out for the PS4 this week.
Oh, guess what I'm picking up today?
Final Fantasy IX?
No, now I'm picking it up. Don't worry about it. Final Fantasy IX was an incredible final. I know I messed around with you. Final Fantasy IX was probably one of the best Final Fantasies.
Thank you.
Not the best.
Oh, well,
It is a Dragon Ball Z ripoff.
You're getting there. You'll play it again, and you're I'm telling you, you're gonna play it again, and you're gonna be like, wow, you know what? This is the best. I've seen the light.
It's funny when 9 came. I remember picking up 9, and I remember one of the things when wasn't 9 like only 3 discs.
No, 9 was 4.
Was it 4 discs?
Yeah.
I wanted to say I remember 9 being long.
7 and 8 were 3 discs. 9 was the first one that was 4 discs.
I remember it being super long, but I remember still being shocked when it ended. Like, oh. But I did like 9. I liked the character design, and I liked the overall look. And I've always liked that about the old Final Fantasy games. This is for 7, 8, and 9. I love the backgrounds. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like the characters. And 9 was a great game. You know what I mean? It's a Dragon Ball Z ripoff. You have a tail, you're blonde.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? But, I'm really excited to chance. What's the price on it?
If you get it this week, which today would be the last day because Sunday's the start of the next week, I believe, or it might be actually until Tuesday because that's when the marketplace recycles.
Mm-hmm.
You get it for $16.99. Otherwise, it goes up to $20.99.
That's a little up there, man.
Yeah, it's a little weird to me that it was more than 7. When, in my opinion, although 9, in my opinion, is the better game, 7 is the more recognizable one. So I felt like more people would be willing to pay $20 for 7.
Now let me ask you a question. One of the coolest things about 7, and you said is it comes with the wallpaper. You get anything bonus wise?
You do. You get avatars and a theme if you get it this week. Now that's also only limited to the first week of purchase, I believe.
Oh, I gotta get it today then, man.
I don't know if it's going to keep going. I did see though when I went to buy it that it says it on the thing limited for the theme and the avatars, but it didn't give a time period, so I would assume.
How's the theme? Is it better than 7's?
It's not better than 7's. It's a nice theme. It's very cartoon drawn. If you like the old like the Final Fantasy 3 art where it kind of looks watercolored and it's like that.
Interesting.
But
you obviously you're gonna say this is a must own in your opinion.
it is. But if you're not into RPGs, don't even bother.
I would say if you're into RPGs or in general, in my opinion, if you've never played a Final Fantasy game and you want to know what they're about, 9 is a wonderful place to start, I think.
I agree.
Only on the basis of none of the Final Fantasies connect to each other, all separate stories. 9 is the first one I feel like didn't insist on itself. It was, to me, it was a nice, simple story. You know what I mean? 8.
It also wasn't too complex.
No.
Because 7, you had to have certain equipment on in order to be able to fill up the slots with the materia. I can see how, to a first-timer, that could be a little... 8
with that battle system, and then, oh my god. I remember when I finished Final Fantasy 8, I was like, well, that's never going to happen again. I'm just not going to play that again. And I attempted it again. So, ugh.
Yeah, 9 is a really good one, though.
Now, is it weird to you they skipped 8, 7, and 9?
Nope. Not weird at all to me. I think 8, people have realized that 8 is just probably one of the worst.
I'm still waiting for them to do a collection of 1 through 6. That'd be neat.
I wouldn't mind that either.
Yep.
One more thing for Final Fantasy news. The Final Fantasy fighting game, Dissidia, has now finally announced that Noctis from Final Fantasy 15 will be in the game.
What? Woo! Oh, I got a Mario shirt on. And a bald head. No, those two have to do with anything. So, what do you think of this fighting game? 'Cause I'm going to play devil's advocate in this. This reminds me a lot of the old school Dragon Ball Z games.
It does look more like Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi.
And I don't like that. I think they're a little overcomplicated. Now, do you feel like somebody like me that just is a Final Fantasy fan will eventually get to know these controls and start enjoying it?
I played the beta and I was having a hard time with it, personally. But I still want it because
it's Final Fantasy.
That's my problem. And it's the first time I can play as Kuja, who's one of my favorite Final Fantasy villains.
Yes. I think we both enjoy Final Fantasy. I think your is an obsession. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. I share this often. You got me 15 for Christmas, and it was one of the best journeys I've ever been on. It was great. And I was like, yeah, I finished the game, man, blah, blah. It was great. And you were like, oh, yeah, level 99. I went through wilderness and dirt for days. I skipped every hotel I could. I was like, that's dedication, man. Dedication. Because I know there was plenty of times I played 15 where I was like, I'm not going to go to sleep forever.
Get as much XP.
Yeah, and then like 3 days into it, I was like, I'm going to bed, man. I'm going to rest. I want my characters looking refreshed. So you have some dedication, man. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, when it comes to RPGs, I really enjoyed the grind. But I'm glad you brought up Final Fantasy 15, though. Because apparently the director of Final Fantasy 15 wants to bring it to the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying.
Mm-hmm.
It is not looking good for him, though.
So we're not talking about the pocket version.
He wants the full game on the Switch.
I can't see that happening, not because it is the greatest looking game I've ever seen, but for the way it looks, they put so much into that game. Like, do you remember just being on certain roads and being able to look right and, whoa, you might see a Titan over the side or a mountain or just range like that. I don't think you can literally, how long do you think it would take you to walk from one side of that map to the next in that game? You know what I mean?
A while.
Yeah.
Even when you drive your car and you set it up to autopilot,
yeah.
It's taken a while.
And that's, I can't see that running well on the Switch, man. And this isn't me. You know how much I love Nintendo. I want to defend it right now. It hurts me to talk bad, but I can't see it. I can't see it. Especially if Doom's getting frame rate issues. Picture the final fight in that game.
That's all like teleporting around.
Or skip that when you fight what's her face's brother. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That fight was ridiculous. And like you said, teleporting everywhere around. And I feel like one of the best things about that game was Nox's power to able to teleport. And I feel like that would not work.
And every time you teleported too, once you got there was all these bright particles. It was such a beautiful game.
God, I'm gonna start that game over probably.
But yeah, I don't know how they're going to do it. And I think it's going to be hard because the pocket version you get away with it because the art style is so drastically different.
Yeah.
It's so simplistic. It's going to be hard when you take that game, if you have to dumb it down too much, once you see that graphic comparison.
And see, that's my issue though. I don't see where you could dumb it down. Like,
you're going to have to probably, get rid of the draw distance. You wouldn't be able to see as far back. When Nox does his teleport, you're probably not going to get that splash of
even
colors.
if they do things like get rid of shadows, get rid of stubble, little things like that, I still see that game having an issue, at least frame rates.
Yeah.
Issue on that. How many battles? Like the one where, there's a point in the game, I don't know if ruin it for people that haven't played 15. If you haven't played 15, you're an idiot. I don't care if you don't like RPGs or not. This is an incredible game. But there's a point in the game where you have to start shutting down some enemy bases. Look how much goes on in that.
Yeah,
it is ridiculous. Mechs and characters fighting and explosions and your team splits and you can literally see what your team is doing over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't see that running on this. I see this Switch just setting on fire. Well, that happening.
Yeah, as disappointing as that is, I don't either. I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, he said he's still hard at work at it. He's not giving up yet. We'll see. Maybe it's a swan song for the Switch. Maybe when the Switch is about to go out, they're coming out with the next thing. Maybe Final Fantasy 15 on that would make more sense once they get more familiar with the hardware. But what sucks is I think the Switch really showed what its peak is really early.
I agree. And I want to bring this up. It's not on the notes, but I want to bring it up. NBA 2K came out on the Switch, and it needs the SD card. The game is gorgeous on the Switch. Still nothing compared to the PS4 or Xbox One version.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's still gorgeous. One of the best looking games. And it's massive in size. But that's another thing. There's no way 15's coming out on the Switch without a mandatory SD card with it. Probably a huge one, too.
Honestly, I'm getting worried about Xenoblade. Xenoblade Chronicles 2
really doubt we're not getting an SD card for that one. NBA 2K needed an SD card to run it, man.
Yeah.
You definitely. That game looks gorgeous.
It does.
And it's huge, it looks like.
Yeah.
So.
But that's actually it for the notes. The last thing we already talked about. Good times.
Just to follow up on the news with Doom, like I said, if you didn't, just on look-wise, if you didn't get to play Doom and you only own a Switch, go ahead and pick it up for the Switch. But if you own a PS4 and didn't get to play Doom and you own a Switch, I'm sorry, Nintendo fans, pick it up for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just,
And people argue with me all the time because a lot of people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, if this is on the Switch and the PS4 and it even looks the same, like Dissidia 6, which is on the 5, sorry, which is on the PS4 and the Switch. I already have it on the PS4, but some people were like, "Well, wouldn't you want to play it on the go?" I really don't take my Switch out. Like, I do play it in undocked mode. That's how I play it, but it still plays at my house because it's not easy to bring that thing with me.
It's a tough system to play in undocked mode. It's a heavy system, like I said. I feel like, as I always say this, I feel like the Switch is a console system that you can take on the go. But my system I take everywhere with me is my DS. You know what I mean?
My DS. I have mine with me again today.
I love my DS. And I feel like, even in my mind, I was like, oh, this might replace my DS. And my DS was like, oh, that's cute. I'll see you in a week. And I went right back to it. So it's not realistically, it's not a portable system.
Yeah.
Battery life is terrible on it. It's heavy. It's so bright. You know what I mean? Like, you almost feel comfortable in your little shell with your DS. You know what I mean? Like, nobody will find me with my Pokemon over here. I'm good. Like, when you're playing the Switch, you feel like it's going, hey! Hey, over here! Okay? Look at this nerd. Huh? You see him?
What are you playing, Mario Rabbids?
What are you playing over there? Oh, God, you know, he never slept with a woman. Look at him. Like, stop, man. Stop.
Okay, let me get into my enthusiast pick.
Ooh, I'm curious what it is.
I'm actually going to say Final Fantasy IX. Probably not a shocker.
What?
But I'm saying it because it just came out. It's easily accessible. If you have a PS4, get it.
Or a PS4 Pro.
Or a PS4 Pro. Or a PS3. Or a PC. This thing is pretty much almost on everything unless you own an Xbox or a Switch.
Oh, man, poor Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh.
But I definitely play Final Fantasy IX. It's so worth it. It's just so good. I don't want to say more than that. The characters are so lovable. Vivi brings a smile on my face every time I think about him.
God, you are a nerd.
I know. Check it out, though. And that is it, though, for this episode.
That's it?
Yeah, for 42.
That's it? You don't want to talk more about Final Fantasy IX?
No, I'm okay. I'm good.
Huh?
I'm good.
Maybe you started advertising for... You made fun of me for advertising for Coke, huh? Why? You should do some advertisers for...
Square Enix.
Yeah.
Give me
I love Final Fantasy IX.
I just want a shirt. You don't have to give me anything serious.
That's fine. You know what's funny is I talk Pokemon up all the time. I have a Pokemon tattoo. Do you have a Final Fantasy tattoo?
You know what's funny? I actually have thought about it. But I'm not going to say what it is over this microphone.
You have a Mass Effect tattoo. We're all got to say that.
I do.
That's never going away. How's Andromeda?
All right, you. This has been episode 42 of The Enthusiast. If you liked what you heard, hit that like button. If you didn't like what you heard, hit that like button. Because we like likes.
Yes.
We don't.
And if you didn't listen to this, hit that like button.
No one likes a negative Nancy.
Okay. We like to be liked.
I would say we live for it.
Thank you.
Check us out on SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, and now our own website.
TheEnthusiast.net.
Yes.
I was on our website. Have you seen it?
Yes.
It is gorgeous.
I really
man.
do like it.
So user friendly, so fun. I was like, you know what? What was my enthusiast pick? Oh, it's right there. Oh, well, what's this episode? Oh, it's right there. Well, I just want audio. It's right there. So user friendly. You know what? If I was you and you were me, I would use your body to go back on this website because it's that great.
Thank you. We actually do also have a news feed that's constantly being updated now. But that is it for this episode. So, yeah, this is episode 42 of The Enthusiast, and we are gone.
Peace!
Yes, good. Now you're getting it.